AskReddit by Nexus Ultra. What small nation has a lot of cultural influence and relevance around the world? Historically, Greece. Yup, essentially the entire Western world's foundation is based on ancient Greece. Some say the Italian Renaissance only started with Greek scholars immigrated after the fall of the Byzantine Empire. So even more so. Panama. Papers. Canal. School of the Americas. And a man and a plan. Vatican. Deleted. Portugal colonized a shit ton of the world and helped establish navigation and sailing techniques that opened the world up. The fact they are seemingly forgotten in the grand scheme of things is impressive. The Portuguese and the Dutch probably have had the biggest impact considering their size. They mapped the entire world, built the first infrastructure in most of the world, introduced trade, etc. The Greek and Romans, modern-day Italians, also did this, but mostly on the European continent. Small in land size or small in population? Either way, the Vatican. Tuvalu. It's the island that owns the ending TV for websites. WTF, I thought it just meant TV. Till. Sees everyone replying in English. Nah, too obvious. To be fair, nearly 70 million people isn't that small, and even by land area we're between places like Romania and Italy. Now if you compare that to the territorial height, there's been a bit of a decline. At this point, I would say South Korea. From the standpoint of entertainment, fashion, industry and technology and geopolitical influence, it punches incredibly above its weight. I read a really interesting thing some years ago, I think it was actually an NPR thing but I don't remember for sure, about how South Korea's entire economic model is about export, and it was going to start paying off for them big time. Basically, if the DPRK wants to be a hermit kingdom, South Korea had been focusing on blasting their influence all over the world and letting that influence inform domestic tastes. This was before the rise of K-pop, and anyone taking high-end IKEA seriously, so apparently they were right and it's working for them. What do you consider a small nation? Trinidad and Tobago is pretty small and influential, haha. Taiwan. They make almost all of the world's electronic components for industrial machinery. Why do you think China wants to take over so bad? Although not that famous like Korean or Japanese culture in Western countries, Taiwan was pretty culturally influential a few years ago, now still but to lesser extent. There are a lot of awards in the Mandarin-speaking world that are hosted in Taiwan. Egg. Golden Melody Awards. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/golden_melody_awards (golden horse awards etc.). Around 2000 a lot of singers from Singapore, China, HK and Malaysia came to Taiwan to start build up their career. Jamaica. Small island, big sound. Greece. If you really analyze it, the answer has to be Greece. Give me a word, any word, and I'll show you how the root of that word is Greek. The Vatican. How has nobody mentioned the Netherlands? Amsterdam is one of the most famous cities on the planet. The Dutch had tons of colonial influence over things. They do quite well with athletics when it comes Olympics time. International courts are located there. They're well known for their infrastructure, etc. The only thing they aren't exporting a ton of is pop culture. Rotterdam is a huge port hub and global trading center. The Hague is also incredibly important globally. Jamaica. Ska, reggae, and rocksteady have all been massively influential on global music. Puerto Rico. Their music has influenced a lot of Latin American music, and many reggaeton artists are now mainstream in the US. Luis Fonsi, Daddy Yankee, Bad Bunny, Farruko, Nicky Jam, and before that Ricky Martin. Thank Jamaica for the reggaeton inspiration, though. The UK. It's geographically small and has colonized about 90% of the world at one point or another. Is it though? It's not in like the top 10 in either size or population, but it isn't small by any stretch of the definition, and also incredibly dense. Sweden. Music, games, movie stars, directors, big tech, Spotify, Minecraft, suckers got it all. Don't forget furniture and meatballs at IKEA. Ireland. Monaco, known for being a tax haven that attracts lots of rich people around the world, culturally known for the royal family, which once included American actress Grace Kelly. They are also one of the oldest F1 races and one of the oldest WRC rallies. Switzerland. World centers for chocolate, cheese, and corrupt banking. More money passes through there every day than God's bank account. Qatar. They like to get involved in a lot of things, you might say. Yeah, their sovereign fund influence is very underrated. Ireland, due in part to the diaspora. I'm not aware of another country whereby the entire world appears to celebrate their patron saint. Arguably the UK due to the centuries of colonization. Jamaica, massive cultural impact around the world. The Netherlands.